Oh, buttons.
Yeah.
I've got new buttons.
New buttons today.
New buttons today. Yeah, hang on. There we go. We're
Hey.
here.
All right, here we are. We're here.
This is new. This is different.
Yep.
I'm
looking at my calendar. It's not a Wednesday. I don't know why I'm on
It's come sooner than 166 hours, right?
Yeah, much faster than 166. Like
what
it's
happened
like
there?
48 hours, pretty much.
Let's bring on our co-organizers here. Renuka, Sumith, welcome to the stage.
Hello, guys.
Another way.
A nice day to spend a Friday evening.
Is
with our Flutter friends.
It's changed, isn't it?
Ready for the state management session, right? We need to do some pre-session, pre-work for that, right?
Yeah.
So we've what we were saying before. So we started doing some work, some live coding on Wednesday, didn't we? And towards an application, an e-commerce sort of shopping application. As we're going to use this in the workshop. Talking about the workshop, where's that join link? I've lost that join link. Hang on. I'll find it. You talk amongst yourselves.
Simon's pretty much been putting this together just over the last 12 minutes. So if it seems a little scattered, it's really short prep. He just
really well organized. Really well organized is the word you're missing.
Yeah. It is. Sorry, I'm giving away our secrets. I shouldn't be doing that.
And we've been planning for a while.
We can introduce ourselves first, right?
So, yeah. Please, Go around the room and introduce yourself.
Renuka, go ahead and introduce yourself. Renuka?
Sorry? Yeah.
Oh, you're freezing. Oh. Okay, there we go. Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
So I am Renuka Kelkar. I'm one of the GDG organizer for London. And I'm a Flutter GD. I'm here with Simon and Sumith and Randal.
Cool. And Sumith?
Yeah, I'm same like Renuka, one of the co-organizer for GDG London in the Flutter space for a while. I think I just can't live without it. So every day, every evening, I do something tinkering around with code or some ideas. So excited to be. I think we had some sessions before, but we didn't went live with it. So kind of feeling a bit more like exposed now.
It's like that every Wednesday for me. I'm Randal. I'm Randal Schwartz. I'm a Dart and Flutter Google developer expert since the very beginning of the program 5 years ago, coming up on my 5th anniversary in a day or two. And I'm usually all see me on Wednesdays when we're doing our hump day, but this is a different show, so here I am. They just invited me to hang out. First I'd heard of it.
I'm Simon Lightfoot, DevAngel CTO, and also Flutter community leader. Anyway, we're going to do some live coding today. Let's get to it because times are wasting. I want to turn to the audience. Please feel free to ask questions about what we're doing. And we try and keep it on topic basically today, and we'll see how far we get. So let me present the screen here. Also, please, to my co-hosts, please, speak up if you want any questions or anything like that. And then, we're all here together to learn, to do things. I'm going to try for this view for everyone, and hopefully I may move things around so our heads aren't in the way, but we'll see how far we go with that.
Yes. Heads do occupy space on the screen.
Indeed. While there's talking heads for, we want to see the code, they say. So here's the design. So the idea here is that we're going to produce, basically build this little shopping e-commerce app. These are the designs. And the general idea is that we're going to ask the attending mentees, attendees, mentees of the DevCamp course to work with our speakers in implementing different state management solutions with this as a base. So, Scott's here, coding co-hosts. So I think when we got to where we got to last time, where did we get to? We started doing the panels. So now we got different screens that don't do anything, but we have different screens we can navigate through. And when you tap on one of these, it actually takes you to a screen. So that was just to test our sort of deep linkability, whatever you want to call it. So I think one of the things that we can start a lot of different places on here. I kind of want to get this home screen done, but there is so many screens. I mean, we could dig into anything. Any of you guys want to see anything specific from the designs?
I think we can catch up on a quick one. So what we had was we had the splash screen. We started with the home screen, so we can then work on the listing. Yeah. So I feel like listing could be a way for everyone to get some products in, and move towards the detail screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's aim for that. All right. So the question is where we could start on the scrolling sort of these sections on the home screen. Or you mean like the detail screen? Sorry. I suppose we need something to link to it. All right. I'll shut up. Let's carry on with this home screen view and get that finished, and then go from there. So yeah, we've got blank sections now, folders for each of the different features. A screen that paginates would be nice. Yes, that would be nice. I think that we'll actually end up with that. That's not a bad shout, Carl. Let's concentrate on this home screen at the moment. So we've done that top header, and we've done a little promo spot. And the way this works is, this is for those that haven't been following along. We have like an app top level widget that shows a main screen widget, which hosts an index stack for the main view panel, and then a bottom navigation. When that changes, it changes which item we're seeing on the main stack. Pretty straightforward stuff. And the home screen, which is this one you see, that's everything below the, actually no, it's including the header bar, sorry, it's a line. There's the top navigation bar. These are custom widgets. And then we've got a custom scroll view, and in the top of our custom scroll, we have this promo carousel slider thing, which is what this is here. So that's all fine. These are just mock assets for the moment. So I guess the next thing is to go, how do we want to do? Let's hide the side panel where we don't need it. I'm trying to make enough room to type and see everything, which I don't want things getting too small. I guess we'll see. Hopefully that's a bit better for most people. Yeah, about there. All right, let's go with it. So I think top selling is a little section we could do. So I don't know, there's a couple of different ways we can lay this out. We definitely want to be using slivers. So this is that when we scroll down the home screen, we're only bringing in those sections that we actually need. There is actually a type of widget that's going to be coming out. It's on master right now, called Sliver View Group, I think it is. It's a new widget that would actually make this a lot simpler on us, but I think it's not landed yet. So we're not going to have much luck there. Let me see if I can get let's see if I can just get this up. For those that, I think it's Sliver view something. No, Sliver Group View. Oh, I've lost it. It's not there yet, I guess. For the moment, I think a sliver list will do us, and just what we need. So let's, I guess, get to that. So the children of a custom scroll view is has to be slivers, and they can be, to be clear, a sliver can also start off as any composite view of stateful or stateless widgets. So those that get confused, that this is, they don't actually have any graphics object attached to them, render object. So you can use as many as you want to them. That also means you can use a stream builder and a future builder in your slivers without having to go crazy. All right, so sliver. Go on.
So I have one question. Like many times, developers are hesitate to use the slivers, right? And is it if we are using a sliver, it causes any performance issue or something, or what?
No, the slivers are more performant. That's why you should use them, right? So generally speaking, I'll show you right now what we can do. If we make this return a sliver list, for the moment we'll have a future. Let's make a little model object. Top selling item. What do we want? We want a title. Hoodies, shorts, category, section.
Yeah, and price.
Well, it's not category because the category would be maybe subheading. That's just what it's subheading. And say double price. I guess that's without VAT and with VAT. I guess that's the idea there. Yeah. So price with tax. And I guess we'll want a photo or a thumbnail or something. That view. With me, I'm going to find. I tweeted about this view I'm talking about not too long ago. It was called. This is it. It's multiple render trees. Is that the one? No, there's multiple views. That's the one. For the life of me, I'm not going to find it now when I want it. Too late. Can't find it. Anyway, I'm sure someone can find it if they want to go searching. Anyway, so sliver list requires a delegate, and there's a couple of child delegates. Sure, why not? Wants a child count. And then we need a builder. Let's put them around, can't we? Like that. Oh, it's because I started typing above. That's what it is. All right, let's do this here. So, top. I guess we want a list of top selling items. For testing purposes, we'll just stick in here fetch top selling. Yes. This can just. I guess we need to have a way of fetching that data, right? We're getting to that point.
And Simon, although we didn't say use the Q convention from our hump days, people are doing that. So please also watch for starred questions.
Yep. Oh yeah. Sumith, did you have a question?
No, it's actually answering a question that someone raised. Like we didn't get a response yet. So we'll be sending some special emails soon. So
yeah, we'll get emails out. Dave was asking how he does a collapsing view. Actually, I think we have some collapsing views in here, so maybe we'll get to that. Some of the design areas, I think, have this notion of, you can see over here on the right, the details, this notion of collapsing panels. All this should be done with slivers as well. So let's concentrate on this. I don't really want to spend all my time dealing with model objects, but maybe we should just. Let's just see how far we get here. Is everyone okay with the font size and everything? Check.
Yeah, good.
Good. Okay, thanks. Yeah. Why am I not getting the builder, automatic builder making? Whatever. Yeah, that's. So I guess we want a top selling item view. Now, if we for the moment, we're gonna start introducing some state, let's say some state management. It won't be like what we're talking about, but some basic stuff where maybe from the top level we have something to fetch the data, right? We don't have anything in here at the moment, so we could do something like that. Let's do a new directory on the back end, and products repo. Idea. Repository model here. Products repo, and the idea being that this can think about what we want to do. Load products, cache products. That's what we really want to do here. So if we move that function over to there, and let's move the top selling model object out. Maybe this should just be a product. I can just use it everywhere. Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Product model.
Simon, can you turn on that key?
It is on, but
okay.
It's down here.
I can see it there now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't increase
he's typing lightning fast, so it doesn't actually stay up very long.
Let me just see if there's a thing for it. What was it called? Presenter mode or something? Presentation assistant. Hint foreground. Hint. Maybe make that brighter. A bit there, isn't it?
Yeah, bottom of the screen. Yeah, can see.
Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know, when you press a hotkey, it will come up here at the bottom. All right. So I guess we'll also want some products. Since we don't have a server involved yet, and I don't want to go down that route just yet, we'll add some mock data. And then we can load that mock data into our model. And we can present that throughout the application. So products.json. So split that. Let's just do that. Yeah. So always, officially, JSON should always be a top-level object. Please do this, everyone. Even if you only need one key, that's what you do. You put one key in there. Right, it's an array. And then our product is going to have a title and subtitle and
I think we missed out categories, Simon. We need category, no?
I've got categories.
Title, subtitle, price, tax.
Products with categories, price. We could put tax. No, price with tax. And right, photo. The whole idea of subtitle is to provide like running shoes or something, right? Because this category here is obviously all fashion, right? So we could do a couple of things. We could have a separate list of categories and then just put like category fashion, right? Like that. Let's see how we go. So let's get these 4 products in here. So first one, Ultra Boost S and L star something. I think that's just ... Yeah. What do we call it? Running shoes. $480 for some shoes. Some people are crazy.
Don't tell the people at Nike in Beaverton, Oregon that.
I guess we need a SKU as well. We need some sort of ID. So I guess we'll call this shoe 1. Pretty. Oh, goodness me. Pretty 1 t-shirt. 1 and shorts. Okay. And all right, so we need, I'll use that to track the images that we're using as well. So there's our first one. And we'll just put that in here. So assets. Obviously, this would be the URL, but since we're not got server right now, we'll just use the asset path. Okay, that's number 1. Yeah. Feel free to chat between us, or if you've got any questions or you've got any thoughts, or I don't know. Silence can be deadly.
It seems like there should be like just some site that has just random data for whipping up applications. I bet there's
definitely there are a few. If you want to find one, we could like, and that has like fake product data or something.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just thinking because you're working really hard at being creative. Just ask Bard to make a 10 sample product of JSON in this form.
Well, if you want to try it, go right ahead.
Okay. All right, let me see. Well, I can't grab your screen unfortunately because I want to get one of the sample models. Can you paste me the?
I'll send that over.
Okay. Or you can paste it in the chat.
Got that? Yeah.
Somewhere. Okay.
Right. And then what have we got? So I had shorts, t-shirt.
Okay. Booking Bard. Here we go. And
okay. Guess it doesn't make a difference. Right. Oh yeah, need to export those.
It's working. Oh, I got it. Oh my God. Oh, just choose 3. Wait, I got to tell it how many to make. Hold on.
This is where you have I feel like you should have the Crystal Maze theme too. Like, can Simon code quicker than Bart can produce better? Right, t-shirt, shorts.
Okay, I just said, can you make 15 items like that? Not just shoes, but all kinds of items. Shorts, t-shirt, mug, book. Oh my God, this is great. Some of the prices are insane, but this is great. No, really great. Let me paste this over here. Hold on. Oh, this is good. I don't know if the chat will let me paste this much. Oh yeah, it did. Okay. Oh no, it cut it off. Darn it. How can I get it to you? Oh, Slack. Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Oh yeah, this is great.
Right.
Thank you, Bard.
Well, let's not congratulate ourselves just yet. Let's get this working. I'll bring those in a minute. All right. So now what we need to do is bring in assets, products. Maybe ship now. Hit stop. Okay. And what else do we want to do? We're going to bring in products. And we'll have our repository loading those when the app starts up, I guess. So this is another thing that people find confusing, how you get like asynchronous startup work doing. So let's solve that one as well. All right, product item.
Okay, it's in your Slack.
Just a minute, we're going to get a bit further first.
Yep.
Right, so I guess we want JSON serializable. Oh yeah, need to find that package. For those that don't know, there is a second party would be the best way of it's not community made. It's made by some Google developers, and it's not an official Google product, as it were. But it's called JSON serializable, and what you can do with this is we chuck that in out. This chuck it in there. And there's another one for annotations. Actually, sorry, that's the wrong one. That should be in the dev dependencies. And then there's JSON annotation. But it tells you something. I'm just gonna and all goes wrong. There we go. Right. Yeah. Okay. So in doing that, it means we can now annotate our objects as being JSON serializable. And by default, it knows how to serialize string and so on and so forth. And what we need to do is put in a couple of methods, handle our to and from, and it makes these $ functions in it generate code for us. And that's basically the format. And then what we need to do is say part, and it's the name of the file plus g.dart for generated dart. And now, if we run our code generator, now I have a little button that I've set up which just runs.
I think Simon, you may have to add the 2 new properties that we introduced. ID.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So we want find list ID. What was the other one? Category. Yeah.
Category. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Hopefully now run our command on what this is going to do. Hopefully. There we go. First time is a bit slower because it has to generate some stuff up front. So what this is going to do is it builds. If those people don't know, so this generating build script, you can go look at it. In fact, you can go debug the build generator if you want to. So if you want to make your own build script, you can. It generates in the .tool directory. It generates Flutter build, and in here, it's going to make me a liar now. I don't see the JSON file, but I know it's in there somewhere. There's launcher icons. Oh no, here it comes. Well, I can't find it now, but anyway. Build, is that the one? Yeah, there you go. So you can actually run this build.dart, which is all it does on the command line. So it generates it and runs it. And you can actually step through and debug it. It looks a bit complicated here, but if you honestly just run it like as a, hit the play button here, you can actually test it if you want to. Anyway, besides the point right now. Anyway, right. Okay. So that's generated. And then if where's my model? Down here. So you get a little arrow next to it and it groups the G file. You can actually do that over here. There's file nesting. I set up a nest rule for g.dart somewhere. I think that's where it is. Yeah, dart. So this would nest all of these files, including g.dart. And that way you get one file entry over here with your generate code inside, which is quite handy. Oh, Renuka. You want to come back? Sorry.
Yeah.
There you go. You disappeared.
I'm on the backstage only. I was just listening.
So yeah, if I go over the generate code, there you go. So here's our first problem. So it's not generating the code with the right keys. It's generating with keys, but not with the ones I wanted. And that can be solved by adding a top level file called build.yaml in your project. And I believe you'll find that you can actually do this with code in annotations, but it means you have to put it on every model object, which defeats the purpose a bit. So down here, it tells you can put these defaults in. And basically all build runner loads this, and for the specific builder it's running, it loads these options. And these are basically the defaults, as it says here, for JSON serializable. So field rename, snake case, include if null, false, explicit to JSON true, and all the rest of the defaults. Cool. I'm not sure about any map. Is it in here somewhere? I think there's a guide somewhere. I think it's in the repo. Maybe I can find it on here. Any map. Ooh. Dark. Oh, that's better. Right.
Simon, if true, sometimes I wonder that.
This is great. This is great. Look, if true, map types are not assumed to be map or string dynamic, which will default types of map instances returned by JSON code in Dart. So this is great because if you're it could be better. Let's find out. Let's rerun it.
So Simon, sometimes I wonder, if these packages also have some AI tooling, so that if we create a model, it's just generate everything for you. No need to take care of all these things.
I think Randal just did a BARD, so maybe we just need an integration with BARD there, saying generate with the data set.
I've noticed Copilot is pretty good at generating stuff that's similar. So that's the new Copilot X, they call it, but Copilot Chat is gets stuff right most of the time. I mean, it's like anything else in the generative stuff now. It's either spectacularly amazing or fantastically wrong. and not much in between. That's the weird part. It doesn't really have partial skill. It only has great skill or great BS ability. Fits most of my friends though too. So yeah.
That looks good. White snake case, it treats it as just a map, which gives a bit more flexibility. Yeah. All right. So now we've done that, we should be able to use this to load some stuff. We'll come back to our UI in just a second. We need to think about how we want to do. First of all, how we want our app to start up, and also how we want it to load the products. So we want an instance of product repo to exist, and we want to be able to fetch that. So right now, we'll just use we'll have one instance in here, products repo. If we do late final, is this a good idea? I don't know. We'll find out. So I haven't really done sort of a proper like loading thing here. I guess we should do that then. So what we want is a way to start the app up whilst showing the splash screen, and once the app is finished loading, it then loads the main application. Right. So in short, we're going to need a way of loading the app, and we'll pull that state out so we don't clutter up our main UI. We'll call it backend.dart. And then, yeah, I like this. Yeah, we'll do this. This is probably, someone's probably going to have a heart attack about why I'm doing this, but yeah, too bad. Right. Do this and then have a constructor on backend. In fact, we'll do that final. Have a constructor on backend. Private. So the general gist here is this just kind of uses as like a dependency injection to sort of get things going. So we have a function that returns backend. I don't know, init, something like that. And this can perform our sort of startup and then return an instance of backend with our instance of products repo in this case, right? So define products repo equals products repo dot create or something. And when the products repo starts up, we'll do a similar thing in here. We'll have a future. And now, I don't particularly. We could do root bundle, I guess. And there's a bunch of ways of handling this. Let's do. Yeah, let's do this. So we want to load that up, right? So something like. We want a list of products, product item. Products. And we want to load that from the JSON file right now. So I guess we'll do that. Say data is going to be root bundle load string. Okay, let's bring those assets. Let's bring that assets path in to our assets. So we'll say mock example products. Products data. guess. Just doing this like little structure here, so if we want to move stuff around, it's easier to kind of manage it. Yeah. All right, products data. So we should be able to say assets. All right, so we'll wait for that since this is asynchronous. Now, once we have the data, we can then say something like, we should try this just in case it doesn't load. Catch error stuff. Probably do some proper logging. So we'll do for now. And when we get the data in, we want to pass that data, json.decode. Now we have, we'll have an object from this. So let's just call this, in fact, let's just back this function, why not? Interesting. All right, and then we know that we called it products. There's other ways that we can actually have a model for a list of products. We're not. This is going to be deleted, so no point doing that right now. And instead, we can treat it as a list. Go for it.
Which one do you prefer? Yeah, go ahead.
Future getter or function?
I don't understand that quite yet.
Jin, maybe you can elaborate.
Yeah.
Do you prefer future getter or function? The problem is, I tell you, let me explain. I think I know what he means. Like here, like you could have this. There's no parameters, and it could just be a getter, right? Right.
Yeah.
Or create. Right. The problem here is as soon as you want to add parameters, a getter is no longer good. I mean, the problem, the other side of this is, I think, is an expectation of the developer. So an expectation of developer is a getter returns a value. It does not run code.
Yeah.
So whatever you put in a getter should be very limited in scope to like no side effects at all. Right.
Right.
Whereas, go on. What do you think, Randall?
I was just thinking, yeah, it should be idempotent. That's probably the mispronunciation of that word. I've never seen it actually hear it sounded out, but it should return the same value every time. And otherwise, you get weird places where you have x plus x in a function, and those are two different x's. No, that's a little weird.
All right. So what we're doing here is we're gonna as well, which it has not. Yeah. So from once, we're going to get rid of that because we've made it flexible for just a map. And then instead, what we need to do, we still needs to be a map each item in our list. So we do a cast, and we insert. We do a map. So what this does is this is all about just because the reason why you have to do all this like headache around processing JSON is because JSON is very dynamic in nature. It can be whatever fields, anything you like. So we need to enforce the way we do that. So in this case, I'm saying it's a list of anything, and then I say each item should be cast to a map. So this just, I mean, we could actually say list of map, and if it can't match it here, it will throw. However, sometimes if it's a list of multiple different data types, it would be a problem, right? It would throw. So casting to map to, and we can just throw the map instead of doing. So normally you'd probably see this like element, maybe as map of blah 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 or something like this. It's a nice shortcut just to pass the function tear off straight into map like that, which is kind of nice.
Some of this gets a lot easier with pattern matching, and that would have been another way to approach that, but let's not sidetrack you there.
Yeah, I don't want to sidetrack. I was thinking that myself, but I don't want to sidetrack to pattern matching right now. Okay.
We got to do a whole show on that on one of the Wednesdays. We got to just really attack pattern matching and how it can be used with JSON and Firebase, because those are two places that have always been traditionally thorny and are now a lot easier with pattern matching.
All right, so let's think. Let's put that up there. So our products repository holds a set of products, and when we create a products repository, we create one. If there's an error, I'm going to rethrow that. Okay, so and then top setting is probably easier to say, like, take products for now, and then say to do top setting. So that kind of gets us a certain way. So this is now we need to work out how we're going to create our repo. So we go back to backend here. Here it is creating. We wait for it. Our backend gets created with a products repository. We can also do a user repository for login and manage login state and stream. That's all great. Now what we can do here is do an extension on, say, backend build context on build context, and we can have a backend. Yeah, let's do this back. Well, kind of want two things here. I want a way that we can register an inherited widget. And I think that needs to be, well, there's a couple of different ways of doing this. So let's do this. The backend. Okay, so we want to say this what gives context of find. No, it's well, this is where we get a problem. So let's say let's just say backend, and then we say find inherited widget of exact type I want. That actually wants the inherited widget type, which is not, but that's fine. We'll come back to that. And should I do my inherited widget here? Probably. Let's do that. Backend provider. I really don't like mixing the terms. If it is, that's what it does. In fact, let's do this. That's fine. So
question.
Okay, it does save on import stuff. It's basically saying only import this things. Two things. It doesn't there's less work for the compiler to do, and it actually lessens the work the compiler has to do. So aliasing and showing only certain things when you need them, especially when you're trying to import an entire library, you can just import one symbol, is going to be more efficient. I was thinking I was only going to use build context, but now I'm going to add a widget in here. Well, it's kind of pointless then. But yeah, so that's why that is. And also, it doesn't pollute your namespace. So that is, if I wanted to, I'll give you an example. If I had a widget called banner, let's say I made a class called banner.
Bad idea.
And then down here, I want to use a banner widget, let's say. Well, now I have a problem because that is not a widget. That's my class, right? So how do I get around that? Well, I have to alias the import, or I could, the local one is overriding the one that's from the import. So the only way to actually should do this is to alias the import and now I can do material.banner, for example, right?
Yeah.
Which will find me the widget, but now I need to put the alias on everything, right? So, there's the whole idea of the show and hide is to kind of work with your namespace so you don't have name collisions.
And you can mix show, hide, and as all at once, and I've done it, and it's a lot of fun. And you can pretty much get any naming scheming you want, such that your maintenance programmer is going to hunt you down and kill you.
Yes, that's an old template. Blimey. And do that instead. I like that one. That is just super old template. Sorry, depend. Type. That lovely long statement. If listen else. Huge long lines. Apologies. That's just the way it goes. So this is an inherited widget, and what we're going to do is provide the required backend that we want to host here. All right, so we have it here. Backend widget. It's going to be provided backend. We can use the of function to get that. If listen set to true by default, it depends on it. Otherwise, it gets it. And then we need to notify if things have changed. If our local backend is different from our old backend. Pretty much an inherited widget. And then up here, what I'm going to do is do backend inherited widget of this and false. You don't need to listen because it doesn't have any updates. So the backend is never going to change. We might do that. We could actually offer to do like a different inherited widget for maybe the user, in which case when the user logs in, logs out, the state can change and we'll rebuild the widgets. But for the moment, this is good enough. Okay, so now we have this extension on context. We have our proxy repo, which should be, I guess, public. That makes more sense. Have our init. All right, so let's get that in the app startup here. So we want a future backend app loader. And when we start up, instead of doing the silly delay that we had before, we'll actually do something. This will be backend dot. Making it static. Oh. And then on the front end, wrap this in a future builder backend, and then we give our app loader as the future, and for the times. Anyway, if snapshot dot equal connection state done. Then we want to show a splash screen here, right? Because we're not done loading yet. Else we want to do this. Okay. I missed a bracket somewhere. Right. So we got default root as a main. That's fine. We can leave it as the slash, and then put that as the main screen, and then we'll bring the splash screen out of here. You never navigate to the splash screen; it's just there as a placeholder. Now we need a way of showing that. Now let's do this for now. All right, we can get rid of our delayed. Yeah, I think that works for now. So the app starts up. It'll start up a future to start initializing whatever it needs to load. The UI that it displays is going to be the splash screen whilst it's loading it, and once it's done loading it, it will show the material app. And we could, there's many ways of doing this. This is just a simple way. We can always do this where you actually show a route and then you transition, and you can get a nice little animation and all sorts of other fun things. That's a problem for another time. All right, let's try and run this and see if we actually load some products, I guess. Oh, that's a good point. We actually need to get, we should actually get the products on the front end. So we need to use this back end stuff here. So let's do that. Let's go back to our home page. And we want our sliver. We're going to wrap our sliver with a, again. I don't know why there's not a future builder in the list. I should probably future builder. It's not funny, right? And we want a list of product item. Initialized, and then when our init state what happens, we can now do context dot backend dot product repo. Yes. Product repo dot setting. Right. Probably this. Okay. List of product item is not a list of top selling item. Oh, that is correct. Right, let's do that. Right, and then, okay, so now we should have our future. Once our future again loads. And can say, data. So when it's not loading, what do we want to return? I guess we want to fill the remaining of the screen. So we can say if snapshot state equal done, that means we're still loading, then we can return a sliver fill remaining. And its child, now because it says child, it's a box child, not sliver, it can be a center widget. And in that center widget, we'll show a circular property indicator. Nice and simple. Else, we have data. And use the link to that here. Right, we're back where we started now before we went off that escapade to do all the backend, but it needed to be done. And now we've done it, it's structured for the rest. Top selling item We can call it that now, can't we? Not view. It's a product item. I don't know why I did that. Let's do stateless. Gosh. And this is going to take a product item. And now item is data index. Always key any items that are the same type as siblings to each other, i.e. they're next to each other in the layout. In this case, we're going to key each of our items. Now, if we key on the index, that is wrong. I'll explain why that's wrong in a minute. So let's say that, well, let's just do this now. So let's say, I know these change order, or they change because we get future comes back or something. Then the widget that was here, that was keyed with number 1, that was 0 and that was 1, let's say. What's going to happen there in that situation? Sorry, let me do that again. So that's 0, that is 1, right? What will happen is, let's say this one that's number 2 comes up because this one gets removed, right? Essentially, it's not going to reuse the widget that was already made, that was already loaded. It's going to now load that image where the render object was up here, thus making you download or do a whole load of stuff again. Whereas if you keep the same key, it will reparent the widget for you and just move the widget up on the screen. So it's a lot more efficient. So in this case, you can do value key string, and there's a shortcut for that, which is just key. You go look at key, it's a factory constructor for value key string. So, and in here we can just put a little key. So there's a top selling item. It should be unique enough for the subtree that you're in. It only has to be unique within the siblings, but unless it's a global key, that's different. Anyway, but it's nice to, if you want to do testing later, to have this unique, more unique, right? So in this case, we're gonna, if we grab our item earlier, right, we can grab our item's ID. That's making that item unique in the entire set, right? All right, so our lovely items here. How do we want to do this? So I made a sliver list for the minute. That means it's horizontally going to be a list. I guess we can do. This is where it breaks down, right? Let me see if I explain this. This is why the new widget is needed. What we're missing is like a sliver column. So what I really want to do is have all these items only load. Let's say this was, I don't know, 100 items or something. I don't know. If you only have 4, and we're always going to have 4, you could just do, you know, a little table view or something, right? It's pretty straightforward. But if you have to think about this of top selling items being one row, the next 2 being another row, the next 2 being another row. And that way, when you scroll across the screen, they can be recycled and reused in groups of 2. We have to do that because of the restrictions around sliver list and the way it works. Each children are box children. This is not a sliver that you send back. And that's ideally what we'd want, and that's what the new widgets do. I won't go into it now. Anyway, we can also do a sliver grid. And if we had this as, I think this was mentioned in the chat, if we had this as a sliver grid for these, we now have a problem. How do we put the title in? Right? If we want to return a title and it still be a sliver, we need to return multiple widgets that are slivers. Well, we can return one widget from here, and there goes the same problem of sliver column, and essentially what we're missing. So another way of dealing with this is to bring up the state upper level. So if I scroll up, we could put a sliver heading here, but then like, let's say we have like some sort of sliver heading for the top selling and show all, and then we have a sliver grid for what's underneath. We now need to load the entire data up front, because how do we wrap these 2 things in that future build and have it return just one thing? This is where the sort of problems come in, right? anyway, there are workarounds, and I just want to keep what we're doing here simple. So I think, what do I think? Oh, do I want the custom delegate? That's another option. What is that widget? Has it landed yet? Because that would solve all my problems right now. Let me go take a quick look at the pipeline, see what I can find. Does anyone remember what it's called? Did anyone chat in the chat? I don't know. Nothing. Nope. Is everyone still there?
We're just zoned, watching what you're doing.
Yes, we are just watching you, Simon.
You would make great ASMR tapes, I think.
Oh, really? I'm just.
So Simon, like in Sliver as well, we can use our normal widgets as well, right? If we want to do that, that's so.
Yeah, you use a sliver to box adapter.
Yeah.
Which is the trick there. This is really annoying. I want to do this a different way, but I don't want to waste a bunch of time right now. Yeah, we're coming up on an hour already.
Yeah.
All right, let's let me just quickly see what I can find here. One time, where is that coming? Someone's smoke alarm needs a new battery. Renuka. Ain't that? It's important. Right. Let's see. It was the merge bot, wasn't it? Let me see if I can find this quickly. And maybe we get to try it. I want to try it out. See if I can find it. 1 second. Bear with me. One time I want. What's everyone been up to? Come on, feel that we don't have silence. I put lift music on otherwise. I won't.
So
that's way too far. Oh, God. No.
yeah, in my house there is like a fire alarm. It's I bought a new house and I don't know how to off that alarm. I called the people. I don't know when they are
You
coming.
need a new battery. You push
No, I tried to do that and it's like a beeping
Oh, you know
alarm.
what it is? It's one of the wired-in ones. It's one of the wired-in ones, isn't it?
Yeah. It is like alarming a lot. So I just called that other people and just I'm waiting for them to come.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking through, but anyway, I'm looking through like, you know what? Oh, I don't know. No, I'm not going to find it, am I? The one time I want Sliver. It's gone. Anyway, all right. Well, it's around somewhere. It's really going to bug me now. Let me try again here. I could switch to the master branch, I guess. Is it worth it though? Where is it? I'm not finding anything. All right, we'll stick with what we're doing. All right, so I think the general gist of what we can do here is just switch away from slivers for this bit and just do a sliver to box adapter and have done with it. I don't want to waste everyone's time, and then I'm going to come in here and change it when I find the right thing. Right. So we want a column. Every column, whenever anyone types a column, do cross-axis alignment stretch. It should be the default. Okay, yeah. Now, that solves so many problems.
Yeah, it's silly how many times I have to type that in a day. It's like, you're right, it should just be the default.
Right.
Why can't it? I guess we could always make our own column and import it that has that as the default.
Yeah, just annoying.
Then we'd have to update every version of our column every time they change their column. Ugh.
Top selling items. And then we want a this bit over here at the top selling items, and then we want a show all. And I guess the show all should be it's called a text button. Text button, it's like a flat button, and have it compressed, which fits in. Show all top selling items. Right. And we'll wrap this one expanded. See how far we get. Right, so that would be the top row. Then underneath that, we want a 4x4. We'll do a table. No, actually, you know what? We're not going to do a table. We're going to do another row. Here's interesting. So we got data length. And what we want to do for final item in data. And then what's the best way of doing this? I guess, yeah. Builder. Bring out the item. Oh no, we already have the item. So.
Simon, if we can use the grid view instead of that, like
could do. I just want to do it this way.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. There is a grid view, but the problem here is grid view is again it's its own set of slivers. It has scrolling behavior, has other things. We don't want that. So by doing this, what I'm going to do is just say if. It's because it's complaining about content.
And for details on that index thing, I have a video on that, and I'll post my YouTube channel on that because I've got a good video on how that works.
Let me get rid of think about all this here. There we go. That's better. So index. What we want to say is index dot if index plus 1 is less than data length, then we've only got 1 remaining. Does that make sense? No. Index plus 1. Yeah, there's enough for 2. We'll find.
Could be an alpha 1 problem here somewhere.
I was going to say there's a plus 1. Definitely a plus 1 issue. So here, some we'll find it in a minute.
Yeah.
Right. So the idea is that I'm doing 2 top selling items here. Otherwise, we'll do a row. Get rid of that. We'll do a row, and that's going to have 1 top selling item followed by a spacer. And I'm going to wrap that with expanded. I've seen this as well. if you need to put a margin around something, which we will do in a minute, put that on the outside of the actual widget. Don't pass it as a parameter, right? Because when you want to structure and reuse widgets, you want the outside to declare the outside, right? So have yourself a strict sort of line. So in this case, the same with expanded. I could put expanded in every single one of the top selling items. But the problem with doing that, so right here, I could just put this as an expanded inside. Instead of doing that, I'm going to put it on the outside like this, right? This means that it's the use of top selling item that declares how it's going to be fit, rather than the top selling item itself. And keeping that consistent through your layouts is a very important thing to remember. All right, let's see now. So we have a little problem here because we need to loop over. I think I'm going to drop this in favor of getting the items. So we want a int index equals 0 whilst index is less than data length. The reason for this is we're going to use multiple items inside, and we're going to skip 2 each time. So this one's going to be, we'll say, item 1 is data index plus 0 plus 1. The 0 is optimized out. Item 1, 2, up 1, why not? All right. So, with all of that, I guess we're ready to hit play and see what happens. What can possibly go wrong?
So Simon, what is a good way, like checking the output like every minute or two, so, or like just like you have just done all the coding and then just see the output?
Okay, so the reason why I can do this is because I've got lots of practice, right?
Yeah.
And I know visually I can see it in my mind, like, you know, what I'm building before I get there. So apologies. Normally if I hit save, it's just instantly popping up anyway, right? So it makes no difference really. Here's our splash. Oh, our first problem.
Simon, I'm so amazed, Simon, at how you can cut a whole chunk of code out and paste it somewhere else and don't have to spend 6 minutes balancing parens. I don't know what I'm always having to practice. Yeah, it's practice. It's knowing exactly what to grab to take it somewhere else. I'm always off by one line or something, and then it's like all my parens are messed up.
So here's our first problem. I moved out the splash screen. I knew this was going to happen, and I didn't hit play before I went on to do other things, so apologies. I moved out the splash screen, and now it can't find the stuff above it that it needs to display the splash screen because we removed the material app. I did that on purpose. Now, we could load 2 different material apps and then key them, which is one way of dealing with this, which I think I'll probably do. Another way of dealing with this, which I'll show you, first of all, I'm going to have it stop. I'm going to always show the splash screen for a second, just so we can see the splash screen not work. There we go. So if I go back, so this is looking for the theme, right? So the actual error is app theme of failed because it's not there. So there's an easy way to fix that. Where am I? Here, we can just wrap our splash with a theme widget and provide our theme. Yeah, that's simple enough, right? Let's see, is that all we need? Let's find out. Oh, we need the directionality. So directionality is a widget that's put in by Material app. If you go into Material app, then widgets app, inside there, you'll find it. And that's how you set the direction of your text and everything, because it deals with localization. So we could do this, directionality, and then provide the text direction of our default, let's say left to right. Obviously no good if we want to switch. And there we go. It's enough to work it, right? We didn't have to use Material app. However, as I said, now we have a problem. Well, 1, it doesn't handle light dark theme switching or anything like that. The Material app does that. And 2, our texting, if there was text on the home screen and someone started up in Arabic, would be right to left. Well, then we would have a problem because our splash screen would always be left to right. So to solve that, what we can do is take another material app. And again, I've said this before, you can use as many material apps as you want. Like there's no limit. And instead of routes, an initial route would do home. Now, the problem here is if I did this, obviously we can bring the title out into a const or something, right? This should also, that localization is another thing. I'm not doing it in here right now, but again, you wouldn't put title in like this. There's actually a title generator. What's it? On generate title, and that's how you deal with localization, so that you can generate in different languages. This is good enough. Title is what shows up in the app switcher and things like that. And if you're on a desktop, it's the title bar. If you're in a web, it's the tab name. And it does change per route as well. There's actually a widget. Most people don't know this. There's actually a widget called title. If you don't know, and the title widget does just that. It tells them, if we go look, all it does is sets the application switcher description, which contains the title and color. And that's literally what Material App does on the inside when with that title. Anyway, so this might work. It may not work. Let's see. Well, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Try again. Ooh, let's find out. Null check. Material agent build content on generate route. Why are you trying to generate a route? What route are you trying to generate? Is it, where's it coming from? Let's do that. Okay, that's interesting. All right, well, whatever. So what we want to do is, because we want it to forget the previous state from the splash screen, again, we want to key these. So key main screen, main app screen maybe. And therefore it doesn't reuse the widget at any of its state, right? It's like you started up the app fresh. That's what we want. Splash screen, something like that. We will have different routes. So he says, and now it's not going to keep the route. Wonderful. It's making me a liar. Widget builders. Yeah, it sees it's already navigated and doesn't try and navigate again, which is interesting in itself. All right, look, I'm going to let it just reuse for now and just move on. Yeah, let's just do that. Screw it. I'll do for now.
Coming up on an hour and a half, so I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
How long you want to go.
I'm going to tie this up later. All right, so now the app starts up. Our home page is here. Where are our products? Oh, yeah, we didn't put our product. We probably didn't put our top selling products on the screen, did we? No, we didn't. There you go. That'd be why it's not working. Top selling products. Go. Restart. Oh. Okay, that's good. We're getting there. So, what went wrong? So, backend inherited widget. Yep, that's right, because I didn't put my backend inherited widget in my tree, did I? That'd be my fault. Right, let's go back up to the app. And we want to wrap our material app with our backend inherited widget, and that's going to have our snapshot data, which is backend widget. And now we're going to have the same problem because we're landing on. Let's go back to what we had here. I want to get this done, and we'll come back to make this proper. If we use the material app router, then this wouldn't be a problem with navigation too. But I'm not gonna go there right now. Right. What was the other one I wanted? I wanted. That was the theme, wasn't it? Theme. That's interesting. So if I flip that parenting, we can get a. All right, try that again. Restart. See what happens. Yay! Okay. We have top selling items and nothing underneath. That is because it's working as intended. We didn't actually put any widgets in to display for top selling items. Let's do that now. Column. So we want a children. Oops, fingers.
Cross-axis aligned stretch.
Exactly. Right. So
just put it on a hotkey. That's what you need. Just put it on a hotkey.
I shouldn't I? I'm just used to typing stuff. It's fine. So we want a stack, so something where we can put our image. I guess we want this whole tile to be clickable. So that means we want to wrap this with a material, not a container. Oops, material. That I think will make that what's called a type transparent. So we get the surface and everything else, but it doesn't actually have any color attached to it. And then around that, the whole thing, we want to make it clickable. So I have an inkwell, which does the splashy effect. And that's going to link to an on tap for the product. Let's do on product. Best.
So I think I will come back again, Simon, because
sorry?
Yeah, I will come back again.
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries.
Yeah,
do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I will come back.
Cool. All right, so this is item. All right, so now we've got inkwell attachments and everything else, and we want a border radius, so we get those lovely radiated corners. So there's a reason why. So some people ask me about this. If you do this, that can't be made constant. However, because it's the way the constructors work. However, if you just do all with radius circular, which is what it does, you can make that constant, which is nice. But this now it's like you can make that constant. Right, so border radius, say 12, and we want to flip that. And okay, so now we're back to the column with the stack. So we'll have our image. And then underneath, let's put an image.asset widget in there for now. That's going to be item.photo. And we want to add our to-do favorite button or wish list button. And underneath that, we want our item title and our item subtitle, and then a row. Our item price. Let's do that. And price with tax. All right, let's see how that looks. What did I do? Oh yeah, on pressed. So we need on pressed for all of these. That's okay. go up here. We'll add top setting items. Point. In fact, let's do it up. Let's do it on pressed. Not maybe copy it. On item pressed, because this is like for multiple items now. And then we'll just pass it down. One, two. Okay. And now our on item pressed is not required. Up here. That's interesting. Yeah. So something else. We'll do a toString just for debugging. And here's a little tip for people. If you do a string in here, you can run a function called describe identity. So that's a little syntax there. So this runs the describe identity, which gives you the class name, the hash code, a bunch of other things. And then the toJSON is just a nice way of like viewing all the fields without having to write all that by hand. Since if you've got that, why not? That's it. Nice and simple toString that would work on everything, right? Like you can just copy that line to all your model objects. It'll be the same. Right. Only good for debugging. Oh, look, that's good. How about that? Okay, yeah, we have a +1 error, so that's fine. We can fix that. We have the power. So it was +1. All right, let's do it again.
Yeah, I was thinking that when I was thinking because you had less than in length. And
I know. Now I was thinking less than or equal to.
Yeah.
Right. You could also do what 2? No. Let's just do whatever. No, I'm not gonna do it.
Just fix the problem at
hand. What we can do is I'm going to copy one of those products in the assets. I'm going to copy the first product, put it at the end, so we have an uneven number. Make it shoe2 times Ultra Boost, and their whole. I don't know. A lot cheaper. And there's our one item on its own. Perfect. All right, let's get rid of that. If I hot reload, it hasn't removed it because we do it at startup, so I need to hot restart for it to reload the data from. That's right. Now let's get the colors and all that other stuff in there, the layout nicer. Right. Not bad going so far. We have click. We do. Now, here's the next problem. All right, so let's put a gap between these. So we want a horizontal. What's that? Horizontal margin? You mean there's a widget for that? No. I have a common widgets class which does a lot of things, and it's nice to spell them out that way rather than put size box. And we can put one on either side. That works. There you go. And do the same down here. Lovely. Hard to see, but it's there. What we could do. I'm going to set the top level material, just temporarily at least, to colors.gray, shade 50. $400. There we go. We can kind of see that a bit better now. Just contrasting them slightly for testing. All right, so back to where we were. All right, so we want a couple of different styles here. And this image, so if I click, well, I just got rid of the gray. So hang on, let's do highlight color. Sure. And wasn't there? Yeah, sure. So as you can see, when I tap on it, I'm getting the highlight color, but it's not going on top of the image like I want. That's because this image is a widget that's drawn on top of the material, which has the splash effect. The way you solve this is what's called a ink. So what I'm going to do here is wrap. First of all, if you do an ink, it's no longer got any aspect to its dimension because it wraps the stuff. So we need to first of all force out aspect. So this is going to force a square aspect on our images, which is fine. And then in here we do an ink and ink.image, and then the first parameter is the type of image provider you want. In this case, it's an asset image. Now, if I run it, right now when I click, our orange goes over the top of everything. Obviously, orange is not the right color here, but just for explanation purposes. Then on top of this, I can now say I want my stack to align children to the top right.
If you could only align children in real life. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, say again, Randal.
I said if you could only align children, that easy.
Right.
Get their line.
Icon start part favorite or something. Have like a favorite, I think we do, don't we? Yeah, favorite. Yeah. See how that looks. Save. Lovely. Look at that. Lovely. Perfect. Click on top. Click on the item. Works wonderfully. Okay, so we need to obviously replace a few things. So so our ink, it's interesting that I don't want this to be position.fill. Ink, or yeah, position.fill, just to ensure that it's this is about the fact that the stack is getting probably tight constraints down from the aspect ratio. We can look at this in the inspector. I can't be bothered right now. And then our stack is a default fit of loose, and which is correct because I don't want the icon button to stretch to fill everything. If I did, we could get rid of this alignment and put an align widget around the icon button, and then this would stretch to fit. But this way around, we already do the alignment inside the stack, so this was guaranteed to fill the entire stack area, which is the square, so the aspect ratio, followed by whatever. Right, so that's that, and then we want a vertical margin as well. So we should probably, what we can do with that is do a dot square brackets here, that one down. This is so we get a gap between the rows. Vertical margin. Save. And now there's a little vertical gap between the bottom of that one and the top of the next one. All right, we're getting there. We could even say on the bottom after this, we could say vertical. Okay. Right, so we've got our 4 items. Let's get those layouts finished off. So because we have the image bit at the top. Let's get those prices done. So this should be lined up. I don't like them like that. So I'm not sure. I don't have a style guide for this. So I'm probably going to do these inline, and then as I pull out more styles, we could pull them out. Mind you, these cards. This is a product card, so maybe we call this product card and actually pull it out as a widget, maybe instead of top selling. And we'll come back to that later. So for the moment, let's do it inline. We'll say text style. So what do we want? We want our price. Okay, so we do need to format the prices properly. So we can look into doing that in a minute. Hopefully, how we do that. The minute text style we want as font weight. I haven't got the right fonts here either, so I need to load them in. Say semi-bold, which is 500, and the other one is a lot lighter in weight. Okay, it's a bit better. And then we want to space them out. Let's do 50-50, I guess. Why not? Sure. What do you think about the font size? I think we probably need to pass that tone. So title. Yeah. And font size 16. Maybe not. Okay. And then let's go down.
Odd question, if you want to answer something slightly distracting.
What should be the impact of a repaint boundary widget with a circle in without it? Okay, the problem you're receiving is that you're not using ticker mode widget. If you don't need the spinner, if let's say you hide the spinner and you only want to come up sometimes, you don't want to keep repainting and rebuilding all your widgets, and you're repainting all your widgets all the time, then you wrap your circular progress indicator in a ticker mode widget, and that allows you to disable animations temporarily and enable them whenever you want, basically. There's no need for a repaint boundary. It's just more expensive. Repaint boundary essentially keeps a whole different display list and surface for each of its children. It's required in certain situations, but for that, to stop it from repainting, use the ticker mode. That's what it's there for. Right, the color this in context. We did yeah, this isn't really a series, but I am going to be doing this between now and Thursday. I'll probably do one again. I'm probably going to do it again tomorrow, and everything else in preparation for our Thursday start. But none of the other guests are required to join just before Randal goes, oh my god. But wow,
I got Saturday open. It's no big deal. I don't have a life. I've heard of this thing called a weekend, but I don't really understand it. I don't know what people are doing.
I don't know what that is.
That's different from the rest of the days. So yeah, they all look the same to me. Karaoke 4 nights a week doesn't matter. The rest of the schedule blurs together.
Okay, so let's see. We want a vertical margin. So we'll be doing this again tomorrow. Subscribe, keep an eye on notifications. Probably be same, maybe a bit earlier this time, maybe an hour or two earlier than today. All right, and then we want another one. Right, I think that kind of does it for those. Let's get rid of that gray background. Get our touch color back. Get the proper. We can get the favorites icon actually working. That might be fun. What else do we want to do? I feel like this should be. I feel like this should be a bit more of a margin, but it's still a design. Definitely at the bottom. Maybe we should just do a padding around this. It bugs me. All right, we're gonna change it. We're gonna change it. So we'll do.
I think I know the answer to this. You were starting on Navigator, but now you've kind of set that aside for a bit.
Yes, we are going to add routing. We are. Yeah. So again, this is going to be a fully. The idea is this is going to be a fully working app, right? Actually, I'm going to anything, but you know. All right, so I'll fiddle around with that. Let's get essentially get these prices with a dollar sign and they match. Yeah, so I think now is the time to add proper formatting for those. Let's just do it. So the package you need is called INTL, which is the internationalization package. Yeah. And it's the correct way to deal with formatting of localization. And you need to set this INTL default localization when your localization changes. I think that's going to basically accounts for most of it. It then gives you a bunch of formatters that you can use to format more stuff with. So we need at the app level. Do an app level form. There's like a nicer way of doing it, but that's the way I've always done it. There is a bunch of locales. If we were doing proper localization, then we do it in here as part of the localization delegate and the loading of the current locale. Yeah, but that's not what we do. So, why? Okay. Oh, you know why? Directionality. Oh, why would that theme? Why did it suddenly come out with text direction? Maybe. Yeah, text directions from INTL. Well, there's your first problem. This is where we do hide text direction. Now we don't have that name collision we were talking about earlier, and it will use text direction from the other import, which is the framework. All right, moving back. So now we've got our locale set up. We can use the formatters. So you can do helper methods. There's a bunch of stuff around this. what we can do in here, it's kind of commonplace to do something like a util section for this kind of thing. There's so many ways of there's so many ways of formatting or managing locales and formatting. So if you've got again, it's app state, right? Your locale, so you may want to deal with it that way. Anyway, so I'm just going to do a top level function saying string format currency double value. And we'll return back is currency number format currency. Sounds about right. It will use the default locale. Decimal digits. No, we should leave it like that. Yeah, let's leave it like that. Dot format. Let's see what comes up and go from there. Right. So. Down. Right, so in here we should be able to say currency price and import that in. That's lovely. I have GBP because that's my current currency, obviously. That's no good. So there's our first problem, right? So we want to force this to dollars in US. Okay. And I don't know why, if there's a format short or there's another way of formatting where compact currency. Maybe that's it. That's what No? How about simple currency? Compact simple currency. Let's try that. There we go. That's what I want. So we're formatting, we're forcing the non-default. So it's effectively forcing dollar. Otherwise, it used the default one as the doc stated on the pub package, which is the one we set up when the app started up, which is the one that's on the device, and this device is in GBP. Right, moving on. Okay, so we have our cards. They look pretty cool. We'll add the favorites thing and handle that. And if I click on one, where's our log? There we go, top selling item. And got displayed. Well, that's interesting. I messed up my print statement. Let's go back to that. Where's the bubble? It's saying closure. Why is it saying closure? So it's interesting. Oh, you know why? Because I need another set of braces around it. Because I wanted braces in the output. There we go. It's blue now. That's good. Put it again. Click. There we go. So we have product item, shoe 01, category, title, whatever else we want. Cool. All right. So let's go back and get rid of that gray background. There it is. Okay. Kind of nice, that yellow. Maybe we should fiddle around with that later. For the moment, we're going to get rid of the colors and leave it as the default from the theme.
Hey, Simon, can you put up the workshop link again so people can join?
Yeah, it's the workshop link is somewhere.
I I would have found it quicker too, but I don't have quick access to it.
Let me do that, guys.
Okay, thanks.
I put it at the beginning of the show somewhere. Hang on. There it is.
Yeah.
I found it. Hang on. Oops. Hang on. Did I just?
You
No.
put it up on the.
And the link. The link is there on the screen, and it should. We should better put it in the chat somewhere.
That's Sumith. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Continue.
Thanks for reposting that, Sumith. Yeah. Did that come through?
Oh no, it didn't. Didn't. Hold on. I can do that though. Let me grab that.
Oops. I found it. Too late.
Okay, here we go.
And pin it as well. Hang on. Let me see.
You have to have some radioactive superpowers to post a actual URL in our chat.
Yes, it's to stop spammers and everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the world we live in.
It's all good. Continue. And we're coming up. We're just past 2 hours there, Simon. So maybe
see if I can. I should have to
home
pin
stretch.
something.
Home stretch, please.
I don't know how. Yeah, I know, right? I know there's a way of pinning stuff, but I can't see how. So tough luck, everyone.
Okay. Anyway,
right, moving on. All right, what do we want to get to is the main thing. So, we've kind of done this. That I think we should just. I kind of like the idea of getting the favorites working. So, across the entire app, if you favorite something, it's there, and then we could display them in the wish list.
Yeah, I think that would be. It's simple. No, it's like add an event and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I also want to. We didn't show this fetch because fetch top is going so quick. We're gonna artificially delay this, so it looks like it's loading. Seconds. There we go. So now you get the loading spinner. And it loads. So that definitely does work. All right, let's comment that back out for now. Top setting. Let me just sort out that heading. Oops. Edit the designs.
I sometimes import Flutter animate just so I can say 3.s instead of duration seconds 3 everywhere.
Yeah, you can also do like
I like that.
Do really simple extensions to add yourself as well.
Yeah, that's the Flutter animate exports those though. So it's
and then let's get the show all. Click on that. Not bad. Probably need to adjust the oranges, but I think that's a good enough for now. All right, where were we? What were we doing? Yeah, that was it. We got these nice items. I guess let's do the favorite. So we do actually have some icons for the favorites, so let's use those. And I guess since that favorite button's probably going to be in a few places, and so is this item. So we call it top selling item, but the actual is more like product card. And let's move that out into some sort of top level widgets, maybe. Oh, it's not dark. Okay, so just migrate that out. So let's do a favorites. Favorite button. Favorite button. It's not really favorites, is it? We call it wish. The feature's called wish list. Let's call it wish list button. So let's think about what do we want from a wish list button. That's you, I guess, Randal and Sumith, whoever's left.
Sorry, I'm answering questions in chat.
Just create a new list of stuff. So that's what.
I mean, we need it to. I guess we need the button to remember which, if you've already have this item in your wish list.
Yeah.
And then we can tap on it obviously to change that. And I guess we also wanted to listen to that state. So if you've got multiple of the same thing around the app, same product around the app, they're all going to change. So let's order.
Just need a family provider in Riverpod to hold the state.
Possibly. The whole idea of this is not to use that kind of stuff, Randal.
I know.
Right.
Just saying. Rolling it out when the workshop comes around.
So we're going to have a wish list repo. Have wish list. I guess I would just do IDs. I think that's probably the SKUs. I think it's probably about. And when it loads up, we want to actually load the previously stored wish list, I guess. But we could not do that right now. But we can put a little placeholder here and say load wish previous, load current wish list from. So we'll always start off, at least for now, with a blank wish list. We want a. So this is where we kind of get interesting. Okay, so this, you make this wish list a value notify, maybe. Make a stream controller. Yeah, okay. Let me start again. So we'll have our wish list as a private object. This is where we're storing our data. then we can have a. I'm trying to do this without libraries, so bear with me. It's been a while since I used stream controller directly. So we want a wishlist controller. And it's a broadcast controller. If Randal start laughing, because I can't remember what the stuff is. Right, unlisten, uncancel. So if we don't really care about unlisten.
I don't remember any of those because I just put it in a stream provider.
Well, I would normally use RX Dart, which kind of just like simplifies the whole thing. But I want to try and use stream controllers directly right now. And we'll see if it works. Right. So the point here is as soon as someone starts listening to the wishlist controller, we want to send out a thing for it. Hang on, let's have a think.
And next up, Simon's going to demonstrate how multiplication is just repeated addition.
Oh, shut your face. Wish list controller. We're going to need to initialize that. Let's make a init function down here. Okay, so the reason why I've done this is because I actually need to call the same object inside. So we're going to add our wish list on the controller. This, we can type this as well. Type list of string. Right. So this means that whenever someone starts listening to the stream to the wish list controller, it will emit the current wish list. Fine. So this now means that we can have a getter stream of list of string, and we can now say wish all wish list items or something. That would be the controller string. We can also do. It's always kind of good to do a getter on the data itself and say stream wishlist items, maybe stream current wishlist items, and that just gets the data. It's now that's fine. I mean, that's all of them, but that'd be great for the wishlist screen, let's say. But for the actual wish list itself, we probably want to have a stream just for that item. So we say stream ball. Let's have what wish list? What do we call this? Wish list. Has wish list, is in wish list, is in wish list. Well, what we'll do for now. Product ID. And then we can actually return back stream of wish list items where no, any well that'll listen. Will it flip-flop for us? I think it'll flip-flop for us. So test run user code. Yeah, so on each data that comes through, it runs our code, and then we'll cancel and value. Okay, that should be fine. So if we can say item ID, item.id, future good ball. Yeah, that's what we want. But that's not a stream, is it? That's a future. I'm sure there's a nicer way of doing that. I would think. We can just do a sync star, couldn't we? And if it's each time we get an updated list, yeah, let's do that. We do this for what's it, async for?
Async for something in stream. Yeah, final list in the stream. And now, wait, why is it?
I thought it was async for.
It's a wait for.
Oh, that's it. A wait for. Sorry, yeah, a wait for. That's it.
Yeah, I'm staring at it, going, I know that's not quite it, and you're telling me it's not quite it. And we just didn't have.
If any in the list matches our condition,
then yield.
We have a little cache in here saying all last, and if we're very clever about this, we can do an inline function and match list product. Maybe going too far. If we now take that list and return like this, let's see. Maybe going too far. We'll see. Right. That should be. List is our product item. Right, so list of string. Right, so now we have a match. We can now say match current. So we get a starting value and we can emit that immediately. We don't have to wait for an update. Yield last. And then we can then say current is going to be match list.
Oh man, my Perl just kicked me in because I thought last was a keyword, and I went, "Oh yeah, no, that's in Perl, not in Dart."
Okay. So there is a simpler way of doing this. So what we're doing here is get rid of that. Right. So what we're doing here is we declare an inline function that uses that closures on the item here, just to make it simple, so we don't have to pass it around. We then match on the current list of whatever we have, and that can actually be inline, make it a little bit more optimal. So we have an initial value that always gets emitted on our stream with the yield. Then we listen to the stream. Now, we could probably get rid of this, saying that. If we made this nullable, we could get rid of this because that's never going to match the first time, and it always emits the first time because stream wishes always emits the wish list as its first item whenever it first connects. Oh, no, wait, this is on first connection only. Not on each listen, I don't think. So a quick look, I forget. The stream should be inert. The stream should be inert until a subscriber starts listening, using the on listen to produce events. Stream should not leak reason. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. Because it's a broadcast, it means that this only gets called the first time someone listens. The next time someone listens, I don't believe it emits the event. So now I'll put that back for now. And so anyway, so get the last one, yield it. We listen to the stream. We try and match on it each time a new event gets emitted. That means each time someone favorites or unfavorites something, it tries to match it. If it's different from the one that we last matched on, meaning our state has changed, then we then yield that new state back.
And I'm glad we're seeing the difficult, hard way to do it by hand. The stream provider would have made that one line.
Or RX.
Or RX.
RX is just make a behavior subject and you're done.
Right. Yeah. It's equivalent of a behavior subject, although stream provider has a lot of other side door and backdoor features too. But whatever.
So we have is in wish list as a stream. So that's nice. All right. So now we've done this. Let's get our. We need a way of changing our wish list. That's a good point. So we need a void. This could also be a future because we might want to go to the server or do something else and say add to wish list product item, and in here we can say wish list add item. Well, that's a good point, actually. So we don't want any duplicates. So this is actually a set. Right? That makes no difference to us on when it comes to how we build this right now. This is just so that each time a new element comes through, we convert to a list. I suppose we could leave this as set, I guess. Let's make life simple, shall we? Okay, where were we? Right, add to wish list. All right, list. And then this gives a flag back so it's been added. Yes, it does. Boom. So if that's true, then we want to emit an event. Our stream controller. Add. This doesn't dedupe. Not like some of the other things. Should be fine, I think. We'll find out.
Should never be duplicate because if you're adding an item, it's definitely different than it was the previous.
Oh yeah, but it's not. Remember, we're using this. We're not creating a new set each time.
Oh.
So what I could do here is just do a new. Is actually make a new set and say wish list. Yeah, say wish list. Because actually I prefer this. So we'll do it. Is we just do curly brace .. by item ID. That makes a new private wish list, and then we can then say
right,
wish list equals that or something. I could actually do that in line, saying that, and then I can but then I'm always emitting that.
Yeah,
but it may not be a new item.
Yeah.
I could do. I guess I could. The other thing I can do is say if wish list contains item.id,
or just compare the link before and after. Because if the length increases,
no, I don't have to create. I don't have to allocate a new one and add all those items and do all that other stuff. Like contains, be quicker.
Yeah, I was just saying rather than contains, you can just do length. Length is a faster operation. But contains isn't hard for a set.
I was gonna say not on a set.
Yeah. Okay. There are multiple ways to tackle that, depending on the optimizations. But we're micro optimizing. I'm micro optimizing at this point. Never mind.
So all right. So then we can say here wish list dot where not EL does not equal item.id. Basically saying keep all the ones that are not this item, and I'm going to make a new wish list from that. A new wish list object, which is a set, and then again we just emit that entire set. All right.
Or since it's a set, you can do a set remove too.
Well, no, but that's my point. I would still be the same object. So I'm trying to create a new object each time.
Sure.
In effect, we should actually, if we're going to do this properly, then this should be set.unmodifiable.
Yeah. Or just to use fast immutable collections.
Yeah, there's other packages again, all built-in stuff, right? And then where was I? So we got a set initial one. Right. So now our set is all our wishlist set is always unmodifiable. So you can't modify it both, which is actually good, I guess, because if we're going to emit that out, that makes more sense, I guess. So no one starts adding stuff to our set by mistake. Okay.
Ship it.
All right. So now we've shipped. Now we've done that. Let's get our wish list repo applied into our button, and we'll see if it works.
Cool.
So we'll do. So we have a let's go with backend here and go wish list repo. See the pattern? Right. So we start and create whatever things we need. Yeah. So if we want our widgets to automatically, so when it comes to like state management, not using a package, right? We need a way of going, okay, when this stream emits a new item, can we rebuild our widget? Now, there's two ways of dealing with this, right? This is unique to each product, which means it's better to do this in the product level. If we want to do it for the entire stream up here, we could also tell it to just rebuild all the widgets that listen to this object and also do that. There's a few different ways we can tackle this. We're going to tackle the first one because it's faster right now and we're running out of time. So in here on our icon button, we're just simply going to wrap this in the stream builder for a bool. And we want to call out is in wish list. So we'll say context.backend.wishlist repo. Dot is in item, widget item. And then we want to make sure we have initial data. So let's bring this down. Say make final wish list equals this. Is that correctly? I think we probably want to have another function we don't have at the moment, right? Which is, let's rename this to stream is in wish list. And we can have a bool is in wish list. We can actually shortcut that actually saying this now because it's a set. So it contains and then over here we can actually change this as well. So this becomes is in wish list. Get rid of the match function actually. And then this becomes this dot contains. That's even nicer. Right, back to where we were. List. And then context. So now we can flip and flop our button and what we're doing. So void on toggle pressed, and we already know if it should be set or not. So let's say value and wish list repo. If the value is true, then we want to say wish list repo add item. Else move toggle function snapshot dot required data. That's final. So we want to flip flop it so it's the opposite of what we have right now. And the icon that we're displaying, we want to drop this icon in favor of our assets. So we'll say if value is set, then it's it's image. I think it's an SVG picture. Actually, what we have. Assets dot. Icon heart empty. Sounds right. So if it's set to full, then it's assets and icon heart filled. Otherwise, icon heart empty. Right. All right. Restart. Okay, it's there, but it's grey. So that's because I need to give them colors. So what is this color of this? Grey 30. Which is what? Oops. Shit. I have no idea. Give me a break. Why can't you just give me the color code?
Bit gray.
Is that what's 30% gray? 30.
Well, it's more than 18% gray, which we use as photographers.
Why can't you just give me the color code? Let me put it on. I'm on the wrong mode. There you go. D0, D0, D0 hex.
The D0, the do. Doobie. That is your color. Doobie.
So if it's what we're saying, then mode source in, and the color is if value is set and it's filled. That's that orange color, which we'll get in a second. Otherwise,
be gone.
That's a color. So this FF being the alpha, which is
opaque.
And then
That's going to give you your orange.
Yeah. Right.
Cool.
Let's see. Do we have? Okay, now we have a grey one, like the designs. Okay, good. And if I tap it, there you go. It fills up, which is great.
Ship it.
Now the question here is,
Does it remember it?
It does not remove.
I think in the remove code you actually have the add. So 57.
Oh, you're adding it when you remove.
Yeah.
No, that's correct. It's meant to add it to the controller.
Right.
Because the remove is happening here.
It should. See if that's getting called.
That is a good point.
Instead of breakpoint or put a print, whatever you want to do.
Okay, it's getting called.
Okay.
So what is our list beforehand and what is it afterwards? Let's have a look.
Yep.
Why haven't I got this? That is very weird. Okay.
Yeah. What's going on?
So they don't have the hoodie.
Optimized down. Great. Thanks.
It just decided you don't need that. You don't need that code. You don't need that.
Surely it should give me the right. Come on. What? Why? All right.
Yeah. I don't understand. I see that it should work.
Let's print wish list before.
Force it.
And wish list after.
The ultimate debugger. Add print until it works.
Print. Prodigious prints. 4.
Yes. Always label your debug prints. God, people debug stuff over and over, and all they do is just put the value, and I go, you'll never be able to grep for that.
Right. Before, shoe 1. Let's continue. After blank. So it is correct.
Yeah.
So the add and remove is actually working correctly. What's not working correctly is our
your refresh.
Is our stream. So we need to omit here and say first of all put our item ID so know which one we're doing, followed by the list. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
So there should be 4 streams emitted. He says. Click. Yes. So it gets added. All 4 emit twice, interestingly.
It's already a bad sign.
Okay. And again. Gone.
But it didn't emit.
And you think it didn't actually current does not equal last?
I don't know.
Contains item ID.
I don't. Current equals. Current newly created. Wait. Current and last. You're comparing the wrong things. Current is a bool.
Yeah.
You want to compare the bool with the not with another bool. You want to compare it with the other list.
Oh, I am. That's the point. Like, was it in the list last time? Is it still in the list, and we don't have to omit if it's now in the list and wasn't in the list before? You're omitting. It's only when the date changes.
No, your last is the whole set. Oh no, it is, and it's also a bool. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I think you need to do it based on whether the list.
Why are we only getting 1 the first time? I'm not expecting. Right, I know. I know what's going on.
Good. You know.
Well, as I said, it's only the first one. This only gets emitted the first time, which is fine. And let me put this in here and say this last. We should see. Let's restart. We should see all 4 lasts.
I think you're violating some invariance somewhere.
Good. Yeah. Then this one gets emitted on the first one, which is blank. Why?
I took only one semester of college level computer science, and I took a class on Dijkstra's guarded command language, and the only thing I learned from that class was invariants. Yeah. But it's been helpful ever since. Pay attention to that would make a difference. Yeah.
There we go. Aha. If I update my state, the stream listen to it's correct. All right, let's get rid of all that junk. I feel like there's probably some more optimization that we've done there, but you know what? I'm not worried.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Now, what I just want to do is briefly copy the first product twice, which should be fine. Now, and if I take one, both should go on. Yay!
Go. It's doing it by ID, right?
Yeah. So it means that if you had the object multiple times, like on different screens or something, it would the favorite the wish list state would be represented across the entire app. Right?
Sure. Cool. Well, we're at nearly 3 hours. I think probably.
No, I think this is good enough. Yeah,
we've done pretty good there.
Yeah.
So same time, 21 hours from now, maybe?
Something like that. We'll do. It's what's a good time for you tomorrow? Because I know it's early in the morning for you.
Are you looking?
Do you want to do 10 for you? Is that a good time or 9?
I can't see which way you're facing. Who are you talking to?
You, Randal.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. It's always hard to tell online. Who does you mean? We don't know when there's multiple people on the call.
I know. Brain frazzled.
I'm just I'm not going to be out late tonight, so I'll just watch for your Slack and let me know.
I'll set the stream now for tomorrow, and then everyone can get the notification.
I'll book it. I'll book it.
Let's stop the screen share. There we go.
All right.
If anyone's
21 hours from now
interested in the dev camp where you'll be able to play around with this code and work on it, you want to sign up on the link in the chat. There it is there.
Yep.
And we'll be we'll be around tomorrow. Same time, same place.
21 hours.
All right, how do I sign us off on this one?
I don't know. Bye.
I
don't have the buttons. Right.
Come on,
bye.
I'm frozen here. I'm frozen here. Hurry up.